Hello my friends, it's Ebird Online and I'm back with another review. I'm going to be covering The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 10, Episode 4, All's Fair in Glam and War. A very quick thank you to all of the people that subscribed in the last couple of weeks, very much appreciated. If you haven't done so, please press that red subscribe button and let's get on with things. I've got quite a lot to say. So this episode is a tale of two events, Boring Teddi's all-in event and Denise and Aaron's Adam and Eve. So the episode starts out with Kyle and she tells us yet again that she's been really busy. She's apparently oscillating between New York, LA and North Carolina. And she's in the car with Erika and Sutton and they're on the way to Boring Teddi's all-in event. And poor Sutton's nervous about meeting up with Teddi because she realises she's making an unsolicited appearance. And in fact, as we remember, Sutton's been uninvited, but she decided unilaterally to re-invite herself. But for what it's worth, I do genuinely think that she's upset, and as the car stops, she started crying. And usually when these housewives start crying, you see them dabbing at a tearless eye, but for once Sutton's face did go red and her eyes were quite puffy, and I do think that she was actually quite upset. And Erika and Kyle say, don't worry, everything will be fine. And I'm sure it will as long as Teddi's not there. But if Teddi's there, you're absolutely effed. But alas, it seems that Teddi has attended her own event because the camera cuts to her and Teddi tells us this will be a super busy day. She said it needs to be absolutely perfect, so every detail has been perfectly timed out. And so I guess when you've got so many delegates coming to a very busy event, everything has to be planned to the nth degree. I just hope she's brought in the relevant expertise in logistics and management. To organise an event such as this, Teddi needs someone with exceptional logistical ability. A mastermind no less. Somebody with the brainpower, ingenuity and sheer intellect to carry off an event such as this. And I've got newfound respect for Teddi. And what is it they'll be doing all day, I hear you ask? Teddi lets us know. We're going to start out with boxing and then we're going to have a bit of lunch. Then there's free time. And then there's meditation, and we finish the day with dinner. What? So basically, boxing, okay, an activity, lunch, everybody has lunch every day, no big deal. Free time, okay, we've all got lots of that. Meditation, that's basically sleeping. And I don't know what you guys do when you meditate, but the Ebird, she just goes to sleep. And then dinner. So basically this whole day is boxing and then sleeping. Oh Lord. Teddi, you've excelled yourself this time. So the girls finally arrive and they get changed and then they go straight into the boxing. Make the most of it, girls, because there's nothing else happening for the rest of the event. Erika was very good and she was punching people really hard. Kyle was kind of okay, but poor Sutton, she wasn't up to much. And after the boxing, Dorit arrived and Teddi welcomed her from the car. I'm so glad you're here. And I want you guys to all remember that Dorit actually said at Sutton's event, she told Teddi, I'm coming just before lunch. And then we cut to Teddi in the confessional and she says, I knew she wouldn't be on time. Teddi, she freaking told you she was going to be late. And as they sat down for lunch, Kyle asked Dorit, why didn't you do the boxing? Dorit said, well, I wasn't here. And Kyle said, yeah, I know, but why? And again in a confessional, Kyle said, oh my God, Dorit's all glammed up. Please tell me the reason that she wasn't late was because of Glam. Kyle, even if it was, so what does it have to do with you? But mid-argument, Teddi comes in and she says, I want to make an announcement. Don't be nervous now, Teddi. You know you can do it. You're speaking directly to your clients. Invigorate them. Make them excited for what's to come. We're all behind you. You can do it, Teddi.
One little announcement, guys. 1 to 4 is free time today. And then we have mindful meditation and yeah, have fun.
Oh God. Teddi really has the personality of something you need to water once a week. And so after lunch, the girls all get together and they're having a little chat and they talk once again about the non-invite, i.e. when Teddi said, you can come if you want to come, but don't feel obliged. And Sutton reconfirms that she found it very rude and Erika agrees. Teddi then decides to blame it on Lisa Rinna. Of course she does, because Lisa Rinna's not there. Teddi, you're so weak, it's getting boring. And she says when Lisa Rinna sat in the back of the car, she intimated that there might be trouble at the event. She didn't. She just said, what would you do if somebody decided to create trouble? And then Teddi says, I don't need anyone's support. What I was saying is if you want to come for yourself. Don't come for me. And Dorit said, why the fuck am I here? And they asked Teddi what's up next. And Teddi says, a little bit of free time. And then we're going into meditation, which will be about an hour and a half. And Dorit says, oh my God, no way. There's no way that I'm going to have an hour and a half meditation. I couldn't take it. She said it's too long. And then Teddi says she's going off to ensure everything's set up for the meditation. And guys, I couldn't help but notice that all the mats had everybody's name on, which I think was quite a nice touch. But it's obvious that none of the girls are doing the meditation because Teddi says to her assistant, roll up all of these 6 mats, and it's all of the mats with the girls' names on. And back in the room, Dorit's telling Kyle she feels really uncomfortable being there, and she says she thinks she wants to leave before dinner, and Kyle said, "You cannot do that, you cannot leave. Teddi will be really upset. I thought you guys were trying to build bridges and mend fences." Kyle, which is it? Either Teddi doesn't care a jot, or Teddi's going to be really upset. It can't be both. And then again, Kyle goes back onto, "Where were you this morning?" And Dorit says, "I was busy. I had to take my kids to school. I have a life, you know, Kyle." And Kyle says, "You have a life? Oh my God, I'm busy too. I'm busy pretending I can act. I'm also busy pretending I have a fashion line in New York. And I'm also busy looking after my family, which consists of 3 adults and 1 minor. Well, I suppose 2 minors if you count Mauricio." And Kyle tells her she thinks she's completely shallow and selfish to have her hair done and go into Glam before coming to Teddi's event. And I've got to pick a bone with Kyle here because, as we know, what does Dorit do for a living? Dorit has a fashion line, she has an active wear line and a beach wear line. So of course every day Dorit needs to be on the Gram promoting her brand and promoting herself, and she is her brand. So the fact that she has to get on the Gram and take photos and get into Glam is just Dorit at work. She's not playing dress up. This is her business. This is her job. And guys, you and me might find this kind of job a little bit ridiculous, this kind of social media posing. It is a legitimate job now, and it does bring in an awful lot of money for the right people. So Kyle, why are you making such a big deal out of all of this? Guys, let me know in comments, what do you think? Do you think it's up to Dorit what she does with her own time? And also, if Teddi doesn't care, why do you, Kyle? And so the girls decide to have drinks while meditation's happening, and then they all go down for dinner, and Denise arrives. So they're having fajitas, and the food looks kind of okay actually. It's not exactly diet food, so it's not as bad as you would think. And Denise sits down and says, "Hi, did you have a good time?" Oh my God, Denise, of course they didn't have a good time. Kyle's here. And Kyle says, "No, they didn't. Dorit prioritised Glam over getting to Teddi's event." And then they begin to argue again. Denise has a joke and says, "Thank you so much, Teddi, for inviting your dysfunctional family." And as for me, I cast my mind back to Lisa Rinna in the back of the taxi saying, "What happens if someone causes shit?" It's Kyle. And that's pretty much the end of Teddi's event. And so next up we see Denise and Erin getting ready for their housewarming party, and they're going to have a wood fire pizza and ice cream sundaes. And they're having the whole party outside, and they've got a nice little ice sculpture, and Denise and Erin seem genuinely happy to have everybody over to their new home. Let's see how that turns out. And next we go over to Garcelle, who I'm beginning to like more and more. As soon as Teddi said, "If you don't want to come, you don't have to," she was like, "Brilliant, I'm not going." And she's going for dinner with her boys. And as they sit down and order, the waitress says, "Do you want anything else?" And one of her sons kind of looks at Garcelle and then says, "Can I get a Coca-Cola?" And Garcelle looks at the boys, and I know for a fact those little tinkers aren't allowed to have Coca-Cola normally, but they knew the cameras were there, and they knew that Garcelle wouldn't say no. I like your moves, boys, I like your moves. So they get the pizza, and then Garcelle asks them, "Is there anything else that you want, i.e. in life? Is there anything you need from me?" And they both look at each other and say, "Yes, we want Gucci." "Gucci what?" "Just Gucci items, nothing specific." And Garcelle says, "You need to get a job before you get Gucci." And they said, "Well, you have Gucci." And she said, "I work for it." And I can see by all of this little exchange that Garcelle's quite a strict mum, and she's not playing with these boys. And so we come to the night of the housewarming party, the Adam and Eve no less. And Kyle and Mauricio turn up super early. And so they're walking around before anybody's there, and Kyle looks over and says, "An ice sculpture? Why has Denise got an ice sculpture? This isn't the Denise that I know." And the barman says, "Well, it's kind of like a theme." And Kyle says, "There's a theme?" "Yes, Kyle, a theme. What the hell does every cast member hold at the beginning of each and every episode? No, not you, Sutton, but everybody else. Yes, a bloody diamond. Is it that difficult to work out, Kyle?" And it's at this point when I realise Kyle is spoiling for a fight, and she doesn't care who with. And everybody else slowly turns up, and Kyle has yet another round of chatting shit about Dorit. Her and Lisa Rinna have seen Kyle's Instagram, where she took photos of a Glam, and they're both despairing of her. And Kyle said she did a full-on photo shoot. Kyle, she only had one look. And as they all sit down, Denise says a few words, and she says, "We're so happy that you're here." How long for, Denise? How long for? Food is served, and they all sit down to some smutty talk. And so there's 2 tables, and there's one table for the adults and another table with about 10 or 12, I don't know, teenagers on. I want to say kind of probably from 12 to about 16. And guys, they all start talking about having threesomes and making out with girls. And Garcelle said that she made out with a girl when she was younger. And then Erika said she had a relationship with a couple. And Garcelle asked her, did you do both of them separately? And Erika said, no, I never made out with a girl. I just made out with a couple. What's the difference? There's 2 vaginas and 1 penis. And she said this quite loud, and all the kids' table kind of turned round. And at this point, Denise said, shush guys, I've got to get my kids out of here. Be quiet until the kids go. But Erika was quite nonplussed about the whole thing, and she said, why is everyone suddenly clutching their pearls? Denise has said much, much worse than this. And Lisa Rinna proclaimed rather loudly, no girl has ever touched this hoo-hoo, not ever. And Kyle says the same. And you can tell that Dorit's in shit-stirring form, because she said, well, Kyle, you slept with Teddi. And Kyle said, oh my God, I can't believe you're saying this. Apparently, I'm a lesbian. And Dorit said, well, you did decide to sleep together. And Kyle said, why has everybody got such a big problem with mine and Teddy's relationship? And so Dorit levelled with her and said, Kyle, it's always a package deal with you two. If I want to speak to Teddi about something, you jump in, and vice versa. You always stick up for each other. And Erika said that she'd experienced the same when they were in France last year. And she felt as if Kyle had a problem, and then Teddi piggybacked on it and jumped on it as well. And Dorit said you would never ever stick up for somebody or have someone's back like you have with Teddi. And Kyle said that's absolutely not true. And Lisa Rinna said, yeah, I think it's true as well. You stick up for Teddi a lot more. And Kyle said, oh my God, I fell out with Lisa Vanderpump for you. Really, Kyle? I think it was a little bit more than just for Lisa Rinna. And then she also said that she fell out with her own sister for Lisa Rinna, and she backed Lisa Rinna over her own sister, which I have to say is kind of true. But Lisa Rinna's not having any of it, and Kyle is absolutely fuming, and she tells Dorit to fuck off, and Denise says, come on Kyle, that's not nice. And Kyle says, back off Denise. And Denise is like, I'm in my own home. I'm not backing off. And when Denise went up to get some more food, Kyle said, oh my God. She's backing Dorit up over going to Glam, but she always has her hair in a ponytail. She's a ragamuffin. And at this point, I want everybody to stop what they're doing and look at Teddi's hair. Is Teddi's sense of style any worse than Denise's? I don't think so. And guys, they just kept on arguing, and it was all quite petty really. It was Kyle against everybody. She was arguing with Dorit over Dorit being in Glam. So what? She was arguing with Lisa Rinna over whether she stands up for Lisa Rinna. She was arguing with Denise for no reason in particular. She was just in an argumentative mood. And we end this dinner party argument next week. So what do you guys make from all this? So here's what I think. Kyle has a ridiculous sense of entitlement, and for some reason she thinks she's now head of the group. And I remember, I think it was last year's reunion, Erika said, you're now the queen of the group. And Kyle was like, really? And she wants to be the new top dog now Lisa Vanderpump's gone. But Kyle, it will never be you because you want to be liked too much. And also, she's not an alpha female, she just isn't. Garcelle, I think, is more alpha than Kyle, and I also think that Erika is more alpha. But I think the sneakiest alpha of all is Lisa Rinna, and I think it's Lisa Rinna that's yanking everyone's chain this season. Kyle seemed to have a bee in a bonnet about Denise being too bougie and having an ice sculpture. And obviously Denise pointed out a few years ago I had a party with a camel. Let's face facts, Kyle. Denise is a movie star, and I'm sure she's had a lot bougier parties than that. If she wants an ice sculpture, she can have one without you piping up. So I think that Kyle's doing far too much at the moment. So I want to know from you guys, what do you think? Let me know in comments down below. And also, what do you think to Dorit? Was she in her right to turn up late to Teddi's event? I don't think it's any of Kyle's business. If Teddi wasn't concerned that she was late, why should Kyle be? It's none of Kyle's business what Dorit does in her free time. So let me know what you think in comments down below, and I'll be back very soon with another review. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You've been listening to Ebird Online. Thanks for letting me get it off my chest. Ciao for now.